Cool, guys, and we are live. As always, guys, big warm welcome to the Super Yacht Captain live stream. I hope you're all doing exceptionally well. Very delighted that this evening, well, at least here in Europe, this evening time, we are being joined by Harry, who's our chaseboat captain. Harry, welcome to the Super Yacht Captain live stream.
Hi Tristan, thanks for having me on board. Well, in the car, but it's on the live channel. Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, well, glad to have you. So the question number one is going to be, obviously, why are you doing this from your car?
Oh, Well, guys, the reason for me doing this in my car is at my family's house, we have no internet. So it gets a little bit frustrating for the viewers. So I've just got in the car and I've driven in about 5 minutes from my house to the local pub, which is closed, unfortunately. And I'm sitting in their car park, in my car. That's pretty much it.
Right. So, Harry, the other night, you and I, we did a live stream on Instagram and we were talking a little bit about the Winter of Luxury program. So for the viewers that didn't watch that live stream, just give a short breakdown of what happened, why with the season, and how a Winter of Luxury is going to be moving forward for the 2022 winter season.
Okay, yeah. So unfortunately, you guys are probably already aware, France haven't opened up any of their mountains across everywhere. So unfortunately, our chalet which we had in Courchevel, the lodge, we were unable to open for this season. So yeah, that was a little bit tragic, but it is the way it is. And yeah, but next year we're hoping to open. Fingers crossed that this COVID is finally finished and people can actually go skiing. And we won't be having the lodge because we got a new chalet. We've got a brand new chalet, which is really exciting and really cool. The owner has finally bought himself a brilliant chalet in Courchevel, which we own, which is fabulous. So this new chalet is very exciting, and in the coming months, in the run up to next winter, you'll see lots more photos on our Instagram and maybe some live videos, because the chalet itself needs a little bit of a refit, as the owner wants to make it more his and get it to the level that it needs to be for the following winter. So pretty exciting news.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I bet. Yeah, congratulations on that, and congratulations to the boss as well, because it's the first chalet that he's bought. So the other thing as well is please tell the viewers about the whole idea of what happens when you land with your private plane at the Courchevel airport.
Yeah, so this was, well, the boss, he spoke to me, and he said, Harry, go check out the location of this chalet. So I went on Google Earth and had a little look at this location, and I noticed that it was about 2 minutes, give or take, from the Courchevel private airstrip. And I was looking at it on the map, on Google Maps, how you can zoom out and kind of get a gradient of the territory. And I was thinking, man, I reckon I could ski from that airport to the chalet. I asked him the question. He said, damn right you can. So
that's amazing.
So yeah, that was pretty cool.
So yeah, it must have been, well, obviously that's something to look forward to, but because I remember like the end of the charter season we had in 2020, you were so excited because you had the new chalet in Courchevel, not this one, the other one, and it just never progressed. The French government just cancelled everything. So how have you kept yourself busy in the last, since we last saw each other? I mean, there can't be much happening.
Yeah, that's a good question. I've actually taken up a few new skills. I've started baking cakes and actually learning how to cook better food. So I've been really I've been making curries and Thai food, and probably my best recipe that I'm making right now. I'm really proud of it. And on my Instagram, I've been posting quite a lot of it. I've been making bao buns from scratch. I got actually my old chef who I used to work with originally when we set up a Winter Luxury in Verbier, Alex Langley.
Yeah.
He made the most amazing bao buns. And he basically said to me, if you can make these, you are a good chef. So I was like, okay, well, I've got all the time in the world now. So let's make these bao buns. And I've been making, bao buns from scratch. And I had slow pork filled in these bao buns. Yeah, pretty spectacular stuff. It takes me all day, but doesn't matter because I got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
My other new skill that I've been doing is as we are going to be in Courchevel, I've been taking up trying to learn French, trying to bring my French back. So I downloaded some audio files, and I'm actually spending my time learning that language. I wouldn't say I'm any good at it, but
good on you.
It's repetition, and I'm listening to it over and over again. So at least I'm trying. And then my next thing that I'm doing, I'm going on big walks quite a lot with my mum and our dog Buddy. He's pretty cute but naughty. We're trying to do 10K every other day.
Okay.
So it's when you've got a lot of time in your hands. Our 10K walks take about 2 hours and 20 minutes to 2 hours to 15 minutes. Well, yeah, we do them every other day. And once you've done your walk and you've got up a little bit late, and then you come back, set the fire because it's cold here, then and then start watching YouTube. I watch a lot of you, and and that's about my day.
Well, Harry, that sounds really exciting. You're doing something quite new. Before, obviously, I want to talk to you about a couple other things, including this charter season, and I want to also talk about your brother, also known as The Beach, that's a musician. But before we do, let's go through a few questions we got here from some of the people that are watching, some of the followers. So let's have a quick look here. So this is from Martin Anderson. Hi guys, when AWOL sells, will chasing AWOL go with her, or will you keep her for the new boat? If she stays with AWOL, what would you do? What would be your new chase boat choice? So Harry, let me say something. Yes, so if AWOL was to sell, the chase boat is included because it's part of the price. But say the boss buys a new boat, Harry, would you get the same chase boat, or what chase boat would you like to see?
That's a pretty good question. I guess it depends on the budget, really, because what we have is that chase boat is probably the best boat you can buy for the money, really. But it's also, again, it depends what we're going to use the chase boat for, because I still believe that our chase boat is great for what we use it for. You have other chase boats like the Van Dutches, which are beautiful, but they're not so good for water sports, and I probably can't put that boat on the beach.
No, you beach that one, you'll be stuck there, I reckon. It's a lot heavier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Unless we get that boat with the rubber crawlers that come out from the boat. You know, that one that we went and had a little look at the camp.
Yeah, the iguana yachts. I tested it at the Cannes Boat Show in 2019, and it was very cool, very, very cool indeed. But like you said, it all depends on the budget. I think for me, well, I would stay with kind of like the Axopar, but I would probably like to get the Brabus version with the twin. Is it the twin 400s or 450s on the back, and does like 64 knots or 60 knots? You'd love that. Yeah, the Brabus. You'd love that. You'd be flying everywhere.
Probably ripped my face.
Yeah, probably. Right, let's see some more questions here. So going through the chat here. Thanks everybody for joining. We got Benny from George in South Africa. We got Hey from Sweden, from Frederick. Hello, Captain Tristan. And they've called you Dum Dum, but I think he meant Ding Dong, from Northern California. Hi Tristan, hope you are doing well. Sorry I have to go, blah, blah, blah. Harry, luxury barbecue, question mark? Not sure what that means.
Yeah.
Any ideas, Harry?
Well, no. I think what he's trying to say is I need to all my practice that I'm doing at the moment. Maybe I might be able to put a barbecue on, and I might not have to hire a chef because I'd be the chef, be the ski instructor, chef, and manager.
Ah, I see. No, I like that. That's yeah. And then you can do some
Yeah.
lacquer braais for the boys.
Yeah, exactly.
So Wise99 says, Harry, you're right on the money for learning to bake and at home in your skill for cookery in this current environment of the pandemic. Thank you, Wise99. Steve Miller, greetings from Los Angeles. Cheers, Steve. John Michael's back again. Haha, I started sewing for the first... So John Michael is a friend of Jib's from Plettenberg Bay in South Africa. And in his lockdown, he started sewing. So that's a nice new skill there, making windsocks. So guys, if you've got any questions for Harry related to the skiing or being a ski instructor that's yachting related, do throw them in. If you are aspiring yacht crew, you have any questions for me or Harry, do throw them in. Hi Tristan, is that possible to have a video about AWOL main engine service yearly? Yeah, I think we actually did that video in 2019 we actually did the big refit in 2019. So go and check it out on the what's the playlist called? Yard Period or Shipyard playlist. You'll find it. Let's have a look here. Bear with me a second. What's going on here? Okay, we got a super chat here, Harry, and it says, sorry, this super chat, I absolutely have to leave. I won't be able to see all the live chat, but I can't leave without the little support and watch it later. So thank you guys very much. That's from Rudy. Rudy, you're a huge supporter of this channel. Thank you very much. So, Harry, apparently, somebody's saying here that Mercury now has a 600 horsepower outboard. Can you imagine an Axopar with twin 600s, considering you now have twin 300s?
Yeah, but that's mad. I'd like to see the size of those engines, really, and the weight of them, because I find with that Axopar, how it's built, it's already... stern heavy. It's like bows already like this. It looks like it's planing all the time. I know it's hull design mainly, but those engines are heavy. So yeah, I'd really like to see how that sits in the water with those engines on it.
But actually, that's a good point. I wonder if, because you got twin 300s, I wonder if a single 600 will be lighter than two 300s. So Boris, do me a favour, can you go on Google and find out the weight of the Mercury 350 Verado and the weight of the new 600? Because there's a 100 horsepower difference, but I'd like to know the weight difference as well. It'd be quite interesting. Right. Here we go. It's Harry. Here's a question for you. Harry, where did you qualify to become a professional ski instructor?
Alrighty, well,
start from the beginning, work your way up.
Yeah, well, so my skiing started when I was 18 years old, and I'm now 30. I may not look 30, but and I don't feel 30, but I am 30. Anyway, yeah, started at 18, fresh out of school, went and did a gap year, did my level 1 and 2 BASI, that was the British Association of Ski Instructors, which I absolutely loved, did it in Switzerland. And then from there, I wanted to become an ISIA instructor, which is the level 3 BASI, has quite a few modules. And this one I had to travel around, pretty much all over Switzerland, Italy, France. And then from there, I was like, well, I've come pretty far. I want to now further and become a level 4 instructor, BASI, and that's their top end. And yeah, pretty much ticked off all of the levels there. And once again, went around to France, to Austria, to Italy, and yeah, spent a lot of time passing and failing exams, but finally got there in the end.
Yeah, you and me both over the years. You know, it took me
a lot of money at it.
Yeah, I know the
Yeah.
feeling. I know the feeling. Here's another question for you, Harry, from Robert Jordan. Will Harry still be on the crew this year?
Well, I hope I will be. What are we saying, Tristan?
Well, I'm asking you. From our side, I think is a yes. So Harry and I have been in talks in the last few weeks. So originally, you may remember Harry did a few vlogs for us towards the end of last season, and in one of the vlogs, he talks about how he wanted to move up to bigger boats because the year prior in 2019 he was running boats between, correct me if I'm wrong, Harry, between like 75 and 85 feet, and he did really well maneuvering. So his ideal plan was to do that, which I fully support. But then obviously COVID hit, and then this year we need a bit more security. So then Harry's coming back this year to run the chase boat. And the difference being for this year is, you guys, some of you seen, actually I'd like to know, did you guys see the bow thruster installation? Let me know what you think of the proportional. We've also now yesterday installed the brand new battery bank for the chase boat. So Harry will have a fresh boat for the season. And we're also doing the little damage repair that was done from the wake of the ferry. So yeah, no, Harry will be coming back. Be exciting. What we're doing this season, we honestly have no idea, guys. No idea what we're doing this season. Anyway, we got another super chat from Gib. Thank you very much, Gib. Also a big follow of the channel. Greetings. Just passing this forward so that Harry can get internet at home and not have to camp out in a pub's parking lot. But just so you know, Harry does have internet at home, but because his parents live in the countryside, the internet speed is very low. But Gib, if you agree, I will take Harry to the pub and buy him a couple of pints when we next see each other. Maybe in Italy, maybe in the south of France. Let me know if that's suitable. Some ads. Okay, so Harry, here's a question actually I'd like to ask you, because I always get asked this question. What size boat would you want to replace AWOL? And have you been looking at some ads, but obviously not. But if you were in the boss's shoes, okay, and AWOL sells and you want to go bigger, do you personally, Harry, have any preference to the next boat?
To be honest, that's a real good question. Personally, I don't know much about big boats. My forte is driving smaller boats, chase boats. I know a lot about chase boats and small boats. I think AWOL's a very pretty boat. After spending a lot of time listening to the owner, I guess what's probably, if he wanted to go bigger, maybe a boat that is instead of being plastic built, maybe a metal kind of a world cruiser could be a good upgrade. So the owner and his friends can travel further afield. But with a bigger with a bigger boat, you have more crew, and then it's very difficult, and I'm probably not the best person to ask. However, if you were to ask me what size my chase boat I'd like, double it. Double the size of my chase boat.
So what brand chase boat would you want?
I guess if we're going to go bigger boat, I guess the bigger chase boat would be, as it's going bigger, I wouldn't be doing too much water sports off it, because you would get on a bigger boat, you would get a boat specialized for water sports. So I would be actually a chase boat that is more of a day boat. So then I would be looking at a type of day boat rather than a water sports mixed chase boat. So I guess the Wager 55s, I think they're amazing. Yeah. I think they're absolutely beautiful. I'd like one of those. I think a Wager 55.
Nice.
They are. I think they're the Rolls Royce of all chase boats, with their self-inflatable fenders, with their DP dynamic positioning that a chase boat of that size has. I think that's amazing, because that is only seen, like you said, on the bigger boats.
I had no idea that the 55 had DP. This is news to me. You know more about the industry than I do.
I only know about the chase boats because I'm in it. That's what I do. Ever since I joined you, I've only been a chase boat driver. My whole yachting industry has just been chase boats.
But apart from that 1 year where you were running, you ran the
Yes, of
Sunseekers
course.
and the other bigger boats,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. But that was freelance. That was freelance skippering, which is those other big boats could be chase boats to other boats. A bit like Lizzie could be a chase boat to AWOL.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So actually, Harry, we have a response here from Boris about the weight of the engines. So it actually doesn't make sense. The 600 Verado, so 600 horsepower, weighs 1,260 pounds, whereas the 300s weigh 600 pounds. So the twin 300 would weigh 1,200 pounds, which doesn't really make sense. Why would you then go for the 600s if it's going to be heavier than twin 300s? Maybe an engineer could explain it a bit better than I can. So it'll make sense to have twin, weight-wise, two 300s weighs less than one 600. So, yeah, normally you'd think if they're going to build a single outboard, it would weigh less. But I don't know. I'm not an engineer. Heck yeah. Hi there, never made a live stream. Stefan S. Hi there, never made it to a live stream. Will AWOL come to Europe soonish? AWOL is already in Europe. AWOL has it left Europe? In our ownership, it's never left Europe. We got Dean Pilati. Is that Captain D on the live stream? Hey Dean, welcome. He's saying the wager 38 seems pretty good. I don't know. I've got a soft parser. I don't know what it is. But each their own, I guess.
You need to actually go on board and have a little look at it.
Absolutely.
The only reason I say that is because when I was freelancing, like you said, not last year because I was with you guys, the year before that, I was in I was in Port Gallice when I first met you guys. That's in Juan Lapan, yes.
Yeah.
I went and had a little look around that port with my dad, and we basically walked over to this beautiful Wager 55, and we got invited on board by this really nice guy. He basically saw us looking at the boat. He said, "Guys, would you like to have a look at our boat? Look at this boat." So he invited myself and my dad on board, and we had a little look at this boat, and it was absolutely amazing. The finish was like immaculate.
Immaculate.
It was perfect.
Yeah,
that's the one. Immaculate.
Yeah.
Well,
the truth is, I was hoping to see a bunch of boats in the Monaco and Cannes Yacht Show last year. Fingers crossed it goes ahead this year. We've got another super chat here from Stefan S saying Europe. So AWOL is actually based in Europe. The boat right now is in Italy. So we'll go ahead with that. Right, before we continue with more questions, Harry, let's talk about, just for a second, guys, bear with us. Let's talk about your brother, George Morgan, aka The Beach. He's just launched, so go on to Spotify, guys. I'm a huge fan of The Beach. Go and check him out. He's just launched a new single, and Harry's going to tell us all about it, what it's called, and tell us a bit more about your brother, Harry.
all right. So I've been a massive fan of my brother since he was 12 years old when he first got his guitar and he was playing, and we were playing together and at our old schools. But he actually got signed when he left school, so he must have been around 20. He got signed by Sony, and he was with Sony for about 5 years. So he got signed by Sony, and that was a pretty big deal, and was writing some great music. And then, unfortunately, he got let go by the label because the type of music that they wanted him to create wasn't what he really wanted to create, and he got a lot of pressure put on him. And he did create some great music at the time, but what I'm seeing now, this music that's coming out now, is unbelievable and so much better than what he was creating back then. He's got some absolute bangers coming out. Anyway, this one that he's just released today. Well, it got released last night at midnight. It's called "She's Wild," and he actually co-wrote that. And I can bring it up my Spotify right here. So the song's called "She's Wild." Yep.
Can we listen to it? Is it licensed?
Yeah. Well, you can listen to it. Yeah, it's on Spotify. If you go onto Spotify, you can play the song.
Okay. Go on, play. Maybe can you send the link onto the chat in case people want to hear it? It'd be quite complicated.
No idea.
Okay, no, it's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know how I do that, but I can tell you where to find it.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so if you go onto the Spotify and you go and have a little look at my brother, The Beach, and you go and type in "She's Wild," you'll see it there. He's co-wrote it with Merck and Cremont, which are two Italian DJs.
Cool, good on him. Yeah, Jim and I were listening to it in the car on the way back to Italy today. So we drove back from Italy about 4.5 hours. So we're just banging out The Beach, for half the journey. Yeah. But I'm a big fan, and which song I want you guys to finish.
I know. And
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not saying anything. There's a song that I love. I think it's going to be a massive hit and blow up. But The Beach better hurry up.
I know The Beach is. He's got up. Basically, he's trying to. He's got this song coming blowing up, and then he's actually got 3 others, which I've been playing to you quite a lot over the last few. I don't know if I can say them. I can't say them because they're not out yet. But we got 3 new bangers, which I'm pretty sure if you definitely know them, Jiv knows them, and anyone around me knows them. So as soon as they've come out, then he should have a better follower. The song that I've basically written a song with my brother, which not allowed to talk about, which Tristan loves, I love, and that one hopefully will come out as well. So yeah.
And what I've said is that if he does release it, we can make the music video on board AWOL. That'd be pretty cool in the south of France and Monaco and Saint-Tropez.
We definitely need some ideas for that, but and some women probably.
Well, we'll have to see. If we get some people keen to do it. Right. Yeah. Cool. So, guys, go check out Harry's brother, The Beach, on Spotify. And go and follow him on Instagram and tell him that we sent you. He's really cool. Right, let's get into some more questions from the viewers here. So if you guys are aspiring yacht crew, you got any questions about the industry, any questions about the job that Harry does on board as the chase boat captain, please do send them through. Let's see what we've got going on here. Okay, hi Tristan. If you want to own Harry, you might know this better than I do. If you want to own a small motorboat in the UK, do you need a license? And how much does it cost to train, roughly? That's from Davey. Because your dad he had a boat or still has a boat?
Yeah. Sorry. So Dad had a boat. He had a Boston Whaler. Yeah. And it was about I think it was the same size as Tender to Lizzie.
Yeah.
That size.
It's about 6-7 meters.
Yeah. No, he had his PAL boat too. He did have his license.
Okay, so he had the RYA ICC powerboat level 2. Okay, so that's basically a 2-day course, and I think it's around, is it £600? Because that's my first ever license I did when I was 15, but the RYA wouldn't issue it until I was 16. And that's like, Jesus, 15. That's about 20. Yeah, about almost 20 years ago now. Is that right? Yeah, 18 years ago, my first license.
Yeah, but for the UK, I actually don't think you need a license. There's a lot of boat owners out there that don't have licenses. For a private boat, I actually don't think you need to hold one. It's only when it goes commercial.
Yeah, I think you're right. I remember not needing a license in the UK, but the truth is, if you're going to go and buy a boat and head out to sea, it will be for lack of a better word, idiotic to go to sea without any kind of license or experience. Just go and do a 2-day course. Do something to learn about navigation, to learn about being, good seamanship. Go learn from experienced people. Don't buy a boat and go out there and think you can just wing it, because that's how people lose their lives, and put themselves in danger, but not only themselves, other people as well. Aidan made a good point about having the twin engines over a single engine. Is with a twin engine, Harry, you've got better maneuverability. Would you agree with that?
Definitely, yeah. Maybe not so much on chasing AWOL on the Axopars, as the outboards are so close together. So they don't really drive like a two engines normal boat. Like these outboards are so close together that it takes a very long time for them to actually work individually. And for me personally, and for anyone actually probably driving an Axopar, it doesn't really move like a Van Dutch or you know what I'm trying to say. Not an out. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I know what you mean. So basically, what Harry's trying to say is, for example, on the Axopar with the twin 350s we've got on the back, they're mounted very close together. So the props are very close together. Whereas on a vessel with, say, conventional shaft drives, they'll be a lot more separated. So when you're engaging the throttle, so engaging the gears, better said, is that you got better maneuverability without using the rudder for a smaller vessel. Is that what you're trying to say, right, Harry?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Cool.
But also, as the outboards, they're just so close together. If you put one forward and one ahead, like you normally would do in any other boat, if they're further apart, it will spin very quickly. But on the Axopar, it doesn't. It will only spin super fast if you're in a harbour with no wind, with nothing going on. Otherwise, you have to put a lot of power through it to move it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a good question, actually. This is from Ewan. So Ewan says, "Hi guys, I've noticed on a lot of recent job postings for deckhands, there are minimum requirements, yacht masters. I thought this wouldn't be necessary until further career progression. What's your thoughts?" Now, I have an answer for this, but I was wondering, Harry, if you have any answer for this, that now deckhands need yacht master. Harry, I know that when you came into the industry, you already had your yacht master. So what's your thoughts on this?
I think for larger boats, we're talking maybe 80 meters, I don't think you need to have a yacht master to go on as a deckhand, because there's so many deckhands on board with the right qualifications, and you can learn your way with the tasks and etc. that all the responsibilities that you need to do as you're going through. However, go back on the 80 meters. The reason I say that is because a lot of deckhands on 80 meters will be cleaning windows, or they won't actually be driving any of the tenders. They'll be doing a lot of cleaning and maintenance side before they actually do anything that the yacht master.
Yeah, so they're like chamois technicians. That's the nickname in the industry.
Yeah. Basically, you're doing all of that type of work rather than doing what the yacht master, when you train to do the yacht master, do that type of work. I would say on the boat that we work on, I think it's definitely quite very important to have a yacht master, because we're a lot smaller and you're dealing with lines. The deckhand who's on board AWOL he's your eyes on the aft, and he's dealing with the lines, and he needs to know what he's doing. So I think being trained yacht master basic on a smaller boat, I think definitely is important.
Yeah, I agree. Let me just add on to that. So we, like on AWOL, the deckhand has to have a minimum of a yacht master. And that's not just our requirements, that is part of our safe manning requirements. So our flag state, which is Malta, say you need to have these people on board with these qualifications as a minimum. So for us to comply legally to the safe manning requirements from our flag state, our deckhand must have a yacht master. And this is the case for many, many vessels. Also, this is actually the case for commercial vessels. For private vessels, the problem that's been happening in the industry like over a decade ago is a lot of people coming into the industry just saw this as a money-making scheme, and then they're going to kind of shoot off and not show any kind of determination to work in the industry, any kind of passion towards it. So the industry has become a lot more professional, and it's showing that if people are willing to spend the time and money to get their yacht master qualification, it shows that they're going to be willing to put the time and effort into the job. Because even back in my day when I first started off, a lot of people were coming in with very minimal qualifications just to get a summer job and then go and do what they really want to do. The yachting industry over the years that I've been involved has become a lot more professional. A lot of management companies, captains and owners, we only want to employ professionals. We want people who are there to pursue a career within the yachting industry. And also, like Harry said, you've got people handling lines, dropping anchors. They need to be trained. They need to understand what they're doing. If you're just getting somebody off the street and you're telling them to drop a 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 kilo anchor, accidents can happen, and they will happen. If you've got somebody that's being trained professionally by an organization like the RYA, they're not going to be perfect or fully experienced, but they have some sort of understanding coming on board the boats. In some cases also, it may be the requirements from the vessel's insurance company. So anyway, so that's why to get into yachting, in my opinion, everybody should be qualified a minimum as yacht master. That's just my opinion. It's purely based on your own safety and the safety of your crew members and the safety of the vessel. That's all it is. Right, let's go through a few more questions here. Got another super chat here from Stefan S. He just sent a nice emoji of a cup of coffee and a cheers. Thank you. All right, I like the due to say manning requirement for charter vessels. I would think it's due to say, yes, Aiden's hit the nail on the head here. I hate to run, Tristan, but my house painters are okay, no problem at all. A few more questions. Probably not safe, but still preferred. Okay, this is a good question from Nicholas. Hello, Tristan. You recently made a video regarding the fresh water tanks on AWOL. Why does AWOL store its fresh water versus having a desalination plant? Fuel range limitations, costs. No, but AWOL has a desalination plant. So what happens is the seawater is sucked in through the water maker. From the water maker, it makes fresh water and then goes into the tanks. Because you're not able just to turn the tap on and then suck the water from the machine directly, because if you've got multiple people using it, the water maker won't keep up. And it's good to have stores of water. Worst case scenario, let's say the water maker breaks down or needs servicing, you need to stop it, and the engineer needs to change any kind of filters or maybe fix some seals or whatever it might be. That's why you always must store water on board. Okay, another question. Tristan and Harry. Okay, Harry, I'll let you answer one. Would it be cheaper to opt for a twin water jet engine or swapping for a single Mercury 300 brake horsepower Vivaro marine diesel, as you've got more torque and burns a lot cleaner? So let me repeat that question again for you, Harry. Would it be cheaper to opt for a twin water jet engine or swapping for a single Mercury 300 horsepower marine diesel, as you've got more torque and burns a lot cleaner? Question mark. What do you think?
That's a great question. Personally, for the yacht, for what we use the boat for, having a jet engine is not practical for what we use the boat for, especially if we need to put the boat into beach the boat, for example. With it outboard, I can always lift it out of the water, and if there's anything that goes wrong, I can visually inspect it. Jets, they suck up a lot of stuff all the time, so for me personally, I wouldn't make the change. What do you think, Tristan?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of varies. The problem is, like, for chase boats and tenders, like Harry said, you do want to beach them a lot. And with jets, although, most of the time it will be okay, you do run the risk of sucking things up through the jet. I've done it because on Lizzie we had a jet tender. And also, I think work and maintenance on outboard overall is going to be cheaper for you. I remember at the end of the day, when you finish and you've docked your boat, you can trim your outboard out of the water. Whereas with a jet boat, you're going to want to pull the whole boat out of the water if you're going to leave it in the water for 3, 4, 5, 6 months to stop any kind of growth. Whereas on chasing AWOL, like Harry mentioned earlier, we can, anti-foul the hull. And when Harry's finished, the service of the chase of the day, can trim it up. So personally, from experience, for me, my favorite type of drive system for smaller boats will be outboards. Not to say they're better in every single category, but if I was to have a choice, it would personally be outboards. What do you reckon, Harry?
Yeah, no, for me personally as well, outboards, definitely. To be honest as well, from my experience point of view, I've only really driven outboards. So I don't have, except for a jet ski, I've driven a jet ski, but I haven't actually driven many jets itself. So my experience comes better with outboards or props.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm kind of the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, no, I've got some experience, quite a lot of experience with jet drives. Outboard's always been, I don't know, there's something about the outboard, the fact that you can trim it out of the water and you can inspect the prop and you can inspect the drive and everything. And if you get a rope caught around the prop, you can trim it up and do it out of the water. Whereas with jet, what's happened to me in the past is I've had water ski lines sucked in. It was probably what we call a bit of an amateur mistake. But these things happen. You got guests, you're thinking about other boats, traffic, and you're doing water sports. It got sucked up, and it was a nightmare to get the line out of the intake of the jet. Whereas if it happens on an outboard, you trim it up. You can either unwrap it or cut the line. But it's the time that's going to take is going to be a lot easier and a lot safer, because if it's windy and you're close to rocks or something, you got to act very quickly. So that's my preference anyway. Not to say it's right or wrong, it's just everybody has their own personal preference. Okay, so David, what do you think you would do if you gave up being a yacht captain? So Harry would be a ski instructor. I'm sure I can answer that for you, Harry. That's
correct.
in the last 2 and a bit years, I've really enjoyed creating videos. I'm still obviously learning a lot, but I really enjoy the editing process. I use a software called Final Cut Pro. And yeah, I think I would like to create, video content within the yachting industry as I'm doing now. But if I had more time and, better equipment to a lot higher standard, a lot more like cinematic, a lot more professional, that's probably what I would do. Right. What do you think would be doing? Okay, next question. Louise, hello from Barcelona. Captain, can you do a video on how to use a sextant on a real astronomical calculation? Can it be used in the day and night? Thanks. Louise, yeah, actually, last week I did my Celestial Refresher course, which involved, obviously, celestial navigation, sun-run suns, meridian passages, all those kind of things. The truth is, there are already some fantastic videos on YouTube about how to use a sextant and understanding things like, GHA, declination, LNHA, the calculations using the different publications that you have, all the latitudes. And so if you go actually onto YouTube and you type in celestial navigation on a yacht, I can't remember the guy's name. Maybe Harry, you might remember. I think from I watched must have been 10, 12 years ago I watched that. He's quite a young guy on a sailing boat. He's very good at teaching, so I suggest watching that. Okay, next question. Where are you coming from? Regarding beaching and registration. Somebody says Vova. He says hello, ding dong. Ship tracking or vessel finder. Do not like the lack of handling at idle. That's a good point actually that Mark made. Very good point. Going back to the jet drives, is at slow speeds, they're a lot harder to handle than your outboards. Slippery, do you have your own boat? Christian, I'm assuming you mean Tristan, over the captaining AWOL. I may own a boat in the UK, maybe. Keeping it at that. Hi, Jiv. Hi. Is Jiv on the live chat? She is.
Jiv said.
Jivani's here.
She said hi to me.
Jiv, if you're watching, you ought to come and join us. She's actually downstairs, watching downstairs. Is AWOL available for charter all year or just during the season? When is the earliest the owner would put it back in the water? So it's not actually the owner's decision when the boat gets back in the water. It's really dependent on our charter schedule. Usually April, May time, depending. This year, we would like to be in the water by April, assuming the Monaco Yacht Show goes ahead and the Cannes Film Festival. Speaking of the Monaco Yacht Show, Harry, you actually worked on a Van Dutch in 2019. Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about that? How you got that job? That's a really cool job.
Yeah. So when I left you guys, I wanted to go and just try something different. I'd been with you for quite some time, and I've been driving chase boats, and I wanted to see if I could drive something bigger. Anyway, I freelanced for a company called 212 Yachts and also HSM Marine. Anyway, so 212 Yachts got me the job for Monaco Yacht Show, and I was driving a Van Dutch 40, but in a team with two other Van Dutch boats, and we were driving for TAG. So that was pretty. So the Van Dutches.
So just explain who TAG are.
Okay, sorry. TAG are the watchmakers. If you guys, TAG are the watchmakers. They actually, I think they sponsored one of the Formula One teams. So we were driving the guests who were. There was a big ferry on the entrance of the Monaco Wall. I can't remember the ferry's name. You might know what it is. They're just always anyway. It was just a massive ferry, and we were driving guests who were staying on this ferry, but to do with the TAG event. So, and also we were driving some of the Formula One drivers back and forth from the boat to trackside, which was pretty awesome. Yeah.
That's epic. That's epic.
Yeah. We actually had Max Verstappen. He was on board one of them. Unfortunately, I was not there. I was not on that one. However, I had Kai Lenny That was pretty epic. And he made a video actually, which I happened to be in. Me and my co-pilot, Max, at the time, we were driving the boat, which is in that video. If you go and look up him,
that's awesome. And Kai Lenny, for the viewers that don't know, is a famous surfer, right?
Yeah, he's a superstar in the surfing world. Yeah,
that's awesome. Cool. What an epic experience that must have been for you.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really good. Really cool.
Cool. So the Givinator has responded that she is not camera ready, boys. And then somebody said, who was it? Chris has said, Jiv, you be camera ready wearing a potato sack after cleaning 3 chimneys. So there you go, Givinator. I know you're literally downstairs. You're downstairs watching this, and come up and say hello to everybody, I reckon. Very rude not to. We got Bob is in the house. Hello from Pennsylvania. Hey, Bob. Thank you and welcome. Nicholas, thanks for asking my question about freshwater. Didn't realise AWOL had a desalination plant. Unrelated question. Has anyone ever water skied or chewed behind AWOL? No, but we did do, the owner did wakeboard behind Lizzie, which is our Lazarus 75 LSX. And in fact, the captain of Lizzie was actually downstairs about 5 minutes before we started this live stream. Adrian, I think he might have left by now. Okay, so Wise99 has said, cool, definitely understandable where you guys both coming from in regards to using outboard engines, as they are safer to handle in beaching situation and trim the engines when not in use. Yeah, agreed. Hello from Estonia. Harry, this one's for you. What is your favourite music to listen to while cruising on the chase boat? I'm going to let you talk to the guys. I need to pop to the loo. I'll be literally 1 minute, okay?
Yeah, cool. Well, guys, you know what I'm going to say. Obviously, it's got to be the beach. You know, I've got to support my brother all the way. Like I said, his songs are game changing. But other than the beach, I've actually got a few playlists on Spotify. I've made one called Harold Jammed, and I'd say that Harold Jam is a pretty good listener if you like music. But yeah, I like a complete range of stuff, really. Anything that is that gets me grooving, really. When I'm cruising the chase boat at 40 knots, I like listening to something that keeps my spirits high. Givinator, what are you laughing at over there in the chat? Oh, well, actually, guys, viewers, Givinator, she gets her music from me. She's probably one of my she's the biggest fan of my playlists. That's definitely true, right, Givinator? Not the other way around. Anyway, yeah, I like anything really, guys. That's good. Anyway, let's have a little look at see if anyone's got any questions for us. Scrolling down. I saw one guy earlier. He said, "Have I ever crashed the chase boat?" Tristan, have I ever crashed the chase boat? I saw that as a comment.
Well, no, you've never crashed the chase boat. I remember what happened last year, which was really unfortunate. We were docked in Korčula in Croatia, and Harry was tied alongside the dock, and it's quite a low down dock, and the fenders are right down, and this ferry, so annoying, came in at speed and caused a huge wake. Do you remember this, Harry? Caused a huge wake, and the boat started rolling like this, and then what happened, because it was so low down the dock, that the boat, when it rolled, it came up like this, and then the fenders came onto the dock, and then the boat came down. So the fenders are on the dock, the boat came down, and then smashed into the wall. That's the repair we're doing at the moment.
Yeah, well, I do remember that. That was very difficult to forget. That was quite heartbreaking for myself, really.
So frustrating.
Yeah, because after
If people only follow the speed limits, it will be fine, but they don't. They just don't care. It's like it's always the ferry or the commercial boats that just don't follow the rule because they got a schedule to go back and forth. They don't care about anybody else or any damages they can cause. Wakes, ferries like the big ones, like the fast ones, cause huge wakes. When you're passing boats at 20, 30 knots, we get the wake 20, 30, 40, maybe a minute later. The boats rolling around, smashing into each other. There's just no consideration. What do you say, Harry?
Yeah, no, true. Unfortunately, when that tragic accident happened, it very much dented my pride because after that, I had to roll around with duct tape on the side of my vessel. And you know me, I like the chase boat looking as perfect as possible. So when I got looks at when I was rocking to the beach and go into shallow waters and I had people looking at my boat, I'll be like, oh, I know exactly what you guys are looking at.
Yeah.
Looking at the duct tape on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes to show, guys, duct tape even works well in the luxury super yacht industry. People are probably thinking they can't believe you use duct tape, but it's all we had at the time, and we were doing back-to-back trips, so it was very frustrating. But then in the end, what we did was we dropped the anchor on the stern, didn't we, Harry? And then we had the boat off. So we put 2 lines onto the dock from the bow. We then took the anchor out, the anchor lock on the bow, took it to the stern. No, so we undid the lines, went about 20, 30 meters out, dropped the anchor, came forward, tied the 2 bow lines on to keep Harry off the dock in case it happened again.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
That's what we did, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. Some people would know it as bow to. Normal vessels go stern to, but I'm always going bow to because I've got the engines on the aft. But yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah, that's right. Of course we did. Yeah. Actually, here's a good question. The question is about AWOL, but I'm going to redirect the question about chasing because I know the story. The first time you drove chasing AWOL. The question is from Slippery 1977, and he's asked, have you ever ran into rough seas he's asking whilst on AWOL, but I'm going to ask whilst on chasing AWOL. Tell the story, Harry. This was your first time ever driving the boat.
Yeah, it was I was quite excited. I remember I went and joined the guys in. Was it Toulon? I think it was Toulon. You guys were out the water.
Toulon. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was out the water. You guys got AWOL got put into the water, and I was meant to be put into the water as well at the same time. However, they had a problem for some reason trying to lift my boat. They couldn't get the right crane, and it was just an absolute mess. And AWOL left without me. And my birthday is on 8th of March, and I remember this was on the 6th of March. AWOL had left without me, and I was like, guys, when are you going to launch? When do you put me in the water? Because the wind is building up. It was like coming up to 30 knots, and if I don't leave soon, I'm going to be stuck in Toulon on my own on my birthday. I was like, there is no way. That is not happening. So I got them to launch me, but they launched me in 30 knots of wind with a swell of 2 meters, I think it was. And I had about a 3-hour drive in these in 2 meter swell with 30 knots of wind. And my charts weren't calibrated. I knew where I was going. I had a rough direction of where I was going, but my charts weren't calibrated. And I was trying to stay as close to the land as possible. And I was basically heading. And I only realized that my charts weren't calibrated when I was basically following my charts where I thought was close to land, and it wasn't. It was a low point in the land, and it was basically sand, and I couldn't get through there. And I'd basically come so close in, and then I had to turn around and have the waves directly on my kind of like beam, but on the side on, and the boat on the side with the waves on the side is just not great. And I remember I literally had 40 minutes of these waves pounding me, and they hit me, and they went straight over the top and landed down onto my head in my jacket and absolutely soaked me. And I had loads of those to the point that I was like, okay, this was a really bad idea. I should turn around and go back and have my birthday in Toulon on my own. That's what I was feeling. But no, I eventually got the grasp of the boat, and I was like, no, we can do this. We're just going to get super salty, and I'm just going to have to go slower. And yeah, I battled my way to Antibes, and I got there eventually after fueling up in. Where did I fuel up? I fueled up in, I think, Cannes.
In Cannes, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I fueled up in Cannes, and actually, when I got to Cannes after getting battered and salty and super wet and soaked, and just my nerves calmed down a little bit because I knew that stretch of the coastline very well, and I fueled up, and I was like, yeah, almost there. Get to you guys, and I was like, awesome! I can celebrate my birthday, and I'm safe. But yeah, that was a bit of carnage. And looking back at that moment, it was probably a little bit touch and go and on the dangerous side, especially as I didn't really know that boat at that time. But
yeah, well, I have to say,
we made it.
Yeah, you made it, and I have to say, luckily, Axopar do build a good, solid sea boat. But so when you remind me, I can't really remember. You came into port. I remember you docked alongside on the international quay in Antibes. Did we go out for dinner that night for your birthday?
Yeah, we did. Because it was, I was cruising on my birthday, wasn't it? Yeah, it was, because I remember. Was it that? Yeah, it was that day.
Yeah. It was your birthday, but what did we do after that? Did we go? I can't remember.
We went to the Elephant Blue. Blue because that's our favourite restaurant.
Yeah.
We went there. And but I just remember getting there and I was covered in salt and I was a bit shaky because I was like, whoa, that was scary.
Yeah, that's right. But you smashed through it. You were fine, you know. It's good. It adds some salt to your blood, Harry. Come on.
Yeah, looking back at it then, I was brand new onto that boat and I thought I could nail it. Stepping up from the Tender to Lizzie onto Chasing AWOL was quite a big jump for me, especially as I used to have a rubber ring around me, so if there was any mistakes, I'd bounce off the walls.
Yeah.
But
on this one, there's no mistakes.
I had this brand new boat that was super heavy and absolutely beautiful because it had just had a paint job, and any mistake you would literally notice anything. And there wasn't any mistakes, thankfully, and I got better with time at driving that boat. But yeah, I remember it very clearly.
Now you're an expert on that boat. I don't think anybody anywhere in the world can drive an Axopar better than you can. I'll put that out there, actually. If anybody that's an Axopar owner watching this, or an Axopar chaseboat captain, think they're better at handling than Harry, we'll do a competition and we'll make a video about it. No bow thrusters allowed.
No engine either. You only single engine.
One engine. So use one engine. Other engine's off. And no bow thruster. Nobody can beat Harry, in my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, let's do a challenge. What do you reckon, Harry? You'd smash it. You smashed it all last season.
I got lucky, and I tried.
Yeah, well, you do well. You do well. Okay. Hi, Tristan and Harry. Question for Harry. Do you have a sport or a chill way to run the chase boat?
How do you mean?
I don't really know. Do you have a sport or a chill way to run? Okay, the way you run the chase boat, is it sporty or is it chilled, I guess?
I guess I'm chilled.
Yeah, you are quite chilled. Harry's very easygoing.
I guess I can be sporty if I'm with the guest that's a sporty, but I'd say I'm more chilled.
I would agree with that. Right, a couple more questions, guys, because we're now past the hour mark. Here's a question for you, Harry. Well, it says, hi, Tristan. Can you tell us the best way to clean the salt off the hull of your yacht? Yeah, use a freshwater hose and a brush. Easy, simple. Freshwater, hose, brush, off. Simple as that. What do you reckon, Harry? You do agree?
Yeah, I would agree. I'd add onto Tristan's. I would get the water on there as soon as possible. I wouldn't allow the salt to sit on the boat. So as soon as the boat gets brought in and you can get water straight away, you get the water high power on the side of that boat and get that salt off before it crusts on.
Yes, exactly. So another one, the geezer. Hi there. On the last live chat, you said about how many bleeps before a long bleep for the emergency. I said, yeah, before the general alarm. I said 7, but you left us hanging. Geezer, I'm going to keep you hanging because I know you can find this answer on Google. But I think you just want a response. So the question was, in the last live stream, guys, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, is on a vessel's general alarm, what is the sound signal? How many short blasts before a long blast? Is it 5, 6, or 7? The geezer is saying 7. What do you guys think? Without looking on, the geezer can look on Google now, but the people who are watching this for the first time, just put your answers down below. Vova, another question about music. What music do you listen to on the bridge, Tristan? Music can never be played on the bridge because you always got to keep a good lookout with both sight and hearing. However, if I was to play music, it would definitely be the beach. And I'll be playing the beach's new song, She's Wild, and have a wild time with the beach. And hopefully he would finally release his new song, well, a song that's my favourite, that's been going on for a while, since before last summer, but I can't mention it. And I said to them, if they finish the song, I'm going to publish it, they can do the music video onboard AWOL. So if that's not an incentive, I don't know what is. And the owners agreed as well, by the way. Here's a good question, Harry, for you. Why does chasing need a bow thruster?
I wouldn't. Well, clearly it doesn't need a bow thruster because I managed to get by all last season without it. So it's not a need, but it's definitely very handy to have one. And I'll give you some examples. You might have seen on Super Yacht Captain's videos where the chase boat had to go to, when we were in Croatia even, and AWOL had dropped anchor, and we were using the line. We were taking the lines to shore, and they were on chasing, and I was taking them with the boat and to the rocks, and we had the old deckhand jump off the chase boat onto the rocks with the lines. I had to keep the boat very close to those rocks. So instead of me using my engines, I was just moving the bow, just adjusting the bow thruster either left or right, just keeping it there. And that's one really good way to use the bow thruster, which I personally liked. Also, another thing, when you're berthing the boat, for example, and I'm for my micro adjustments, and I just want to take the nose over, or if I'm a little bit in trouble and the winds come in and it's blowing my nose ever slightly over, well, then I can counter it by just using the bow thruster to bring it back across, rather than using my engines to actually change my position. When I don't want to change my position, I just want to change the nose position. So it's really important, but it's not that important at the same time. So I think, yeah, it's just nice to have it, I think, is what I'd say.
Yeah, Harry, yeah, I couldn't say it better myself. The only thing I would add on to that as well is, for an example, when we go to the mooring buoy in Cala de Volpe, there's always known to be very windy, like 20 to 30 knots during the summer on a daily basis. When you're on a mooring buoy on anchor, the main vessel is continuously swinging like this, right? So when you've got guests on the chase boat and you want to approach the main yacht, come alongside safely, it can be tricky. Harry's very experienced, he can do it, but it can be a bit time consuming because he's got to find the right timing without the bow thruster. If he had the bow thruster, it'd be a lot quicker. So with chartered guests, we want to be as quick and as efficient as possible, and the bow thruster helps with that. Would you agree to that, Harry?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. Definitely. I remember going back 2019 when I was on the Van Dutches and we were moving the guests around. On the Van Dutches, they had a bow and stern thruster, and one of the pilots at the time showed me how to use both of them to speed up our maneuvers, to make us quicker, way quicker than anyone else, because that's what the guys were paying for. They were paying for us to be fast with our maneuvers, not slow. So when I was going forward and one engine forward and one back, I would also go bow thruster and stern thruster in opposite directions, and it would spin the boat around so much quicker. And I was thinking, why are you doing that? And then I was like, yeah, that's why you're doing it. Speed. Everyone wants fast. And then another one which is really good sometimes is what I use the bow thruster for. When AWOL is at anchor and she's moving off the, she's moving a lot, and the wind catches me as I'm coming in. Sometimes, if the wind catches me just right, it's going to push me onto AWOL really hot. So I actually use my bow thruster to push away from AWOL and one of my engines to suck myself away from AWOL at the same time that I'm coming in. So it slows me down, because I don't want to bounce off the fenders and I want it to be as smooth as possible when I touch.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you know, you're a professional, you want it to look good and you want the guests to be comfortable and look as smooth as possible. 100%. Well said, Harry. Another question here. Thanks for the vlogs. What aspects of captaining a charter do you enjoy the most, and what's the least favorite part? So for me, I would say, what's the part? I tell you what, we had the bit I enjoy the most is last season. We had a repeat client from the year before, and they'd never been to Croatia before. And they were a bit skeptical, but I convinced them to come anyway. And we went up the freshwater river to Skradin, and they were honestly just blown away by the scenery, the fact that we could take AWOL up there. They were like, this is just simply amazing. This is nothing expected. And it was a family. It was mum, dad, and the two kids. They were the nicest people, and you could just see they were just totally blown away. For me, that is the highest. That is the highlight of any charter, to see guests blown away. As you can imagine, within this industry, it's full of people chartering exceptionally wealthy. They've seen everything. They've done everything. So to have guests that are doing something for the first time and are just excited and blown away and appreciative is the best feeling. You know, unfortunately, a lot of people with money, nothing really excites them anymore, because they've been it, they've seen it, they've done it, they've chartered multi-million euro, multi-million dollar yachts every year, and it's normal to them. So for me, that's exciting. The worst part of the charter, for me, even after almost 20 years in the industry, before like a couple of hours for every charter, I get extremely kind of anxious and, just like nervous, and it feels like time comes to almost a stop. And it's really bizarre, because literally 5 minutes after the guests are on board, I'm absolutely fine. And I know it's happening. I've been doing it for years and years and years, and it still happens. And it's quite interesting. I've told this story to somebody else before, and they said the reason you get that is because you care so much about it being a success and, the first impression. So that's the best thing and the worst thing about charter. Harry, what would you say the best thing and worst thing about charter is for you?
Well, for me personally, I'm all about satisfying the guests. When the guests are having the best time possible, I know I'm doing my job well. So yeah, that is my aim in life, really, to make them happy. These guys are paying a lot of money to be with us, and I want to make sure they're having the best time ever. And that is the same for my winter luxury side. Eventually, when I ever get to do that, that will be the same thing. I want the guys to have the best time ever. Now, the worst part, I guess, is for me, is when the guests aren't using me, and it's it's just completely quiet and there's nothing happening, and we're just standing by. I know standing by is part of the job, but time does not go, and it just stays still, and I feel like I'm frozen. So that is probably the worst part of the job for me personally.
Yeah, I hear you. 'Cause you want to be busy all the time. Well, that one charter we did, it was 15 days, only 2 guests. It was a long, painful charter. That was the one, the video that I made about the fishing. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
God,
yeah.
yeah,
We had some great comments off that one.
we did. Yeah, some good, some not so good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
cool guys. I think we could be here all night, but thank you everybody for participating. Just want to say, obviously, a big thank you to Harry. Thank you for joining us this evening. So yeah, remember, please go and follow A Winter of Luxury on Instagram. Go and follow. Harry has got a new camera and a computer and editing. He will be starting a new channel about A Winter of Luxury. Go and follow them on Instagram at A Winter of Luxury. And be sure to check out his brother's new single, which is called, Harry?
Oh, She's Wild.
She's Wild.
The beach.
She's Wild. The beach on Instagram. Go and show your support. Guys, again, thank you so much for watching. By the way, if you did watch the last live stream, I talked about the accident that happened on boards. Motor Yacht Vision and Motor Yacht Minx. The video of the full report that I will be doing will be published Wednesday of next week. Unfortunately, it's not a very happy video because a very young man did lose his life, but I wanted to share this report with you guys. But anyway, so Harry, any final words you'd like to share with the viewers?
No, guys, all good. I hope your questions were answered, and if you guys have any other questions, do send me messages on my Instagram, because I do try personally to get back to you guys. So yeah.
Would you prefer that they use your A Winter of Luxury Instagram or your personal Instagram?
For anything yachting related, please use mine, my Instagram. The Winter of Luxury is more of a business Instagram, which I control, but I'm trying not. I only really want to see people that we're working with on there, as that's more of a business side. Saying that any yachting all to my personal account.
Okay, and what's your personal? How will they find your personal account? What's the DM handle? Not the DM, the Instagram handle. Is it at Harry Morgan? Harry underscore.
Well, it's Harry Morgan. Morgan 1990, isn't it?
Let's have a look. Got it here. Harry, where are you, Harry? Yeah, so it's Harry underscore Morgan 1990. Harry underscore Morgan 1990. Cool. All right, guys. So again, thank you so much for watching. Do check out the video we're coming out on Wednesday. Very sad video, but important to talk about. And that's it. Harry, thanks again so much for joining us, and we'll do this again sometime soon.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so Harry, you stay on, don't go off. I'm going to turn off on the YouTube, okay?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Take care, and
cheers.
See you, and ciao.